Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry that I couldn't be there live due to other obligations, but I'm very grateful to be able to present. This little segment is about SmallJS, and I have subtitled it Smalltalk within the web. It's a little more tighter integration with the web JavaScript framework, which I'll get to in a minute. And my name is Richard. So what is SmallJS? It's a transpiler from Smalltalk to efficient, lightweight JavaScript. And it can run in the browser and in the Node.js. And maybe also to say that the classes it generates are quite readable in JavaScript. So it's not, you can interpret it and also debug it on the low level if you want to. That SmallJS has got full Smalltalk 80 language support and a good library that implements most things you need in the browser and also in Node. For example, HTML, CSS, and Express.js on the Node side to make an application server. Here's the, kind of a big difference, with the previous solutions. It's chosen to be file-based development from the Visual Studio Code IDE. That is, nice to have everything in one place, and you got syntax coloring and also step debugging enabled by Visual Studio Code. It is a bit different from developing from like the Faro image that the previous solutions said. So you must like it or not. SmallJS has got built-in GUI testing, unit testing framework, and also a GUI testing framework. That also in the browser, it pushes on the buttons, and then you see if your application is still working. And you can do that with the example apps. There are kind of like 5 or 6 example apps, front-end, back-end, full stack, and even one example app with a little Faro integration. So that if you want to do Faro in the backend and SmallJS in the front end, there's an example app for that. And there's also a playground in which you can run arbitrary expressions to see what the result is. And it runs also on the website with the small-js.org. Or you can run it locally as part of the development environment, which is of course fully available on GitHub. So target audience, who would use SmallJS? Well, if you want to develop complex modern web applications in Smalltalk, and of course we kind of would want to use Smalltalk for that. An advantage is that it uses the same language for the front end and the back end. So you can use exactly the same language. There's no difference in language nor in libraries. You use really the same. Especially if you're coming from the JavaScript TypeScript side, you can have a nicer and cleaner environment than the JS or TS language, which is of course Smalltalk. Smalltalk had seamless integrations with a lot of JS frameworks, mostly the JavaScript libraries are one-line interfaces to Smalltalk interfaces, so you have full control, and maybe a little different from, let's say, Code Paradise. It tries to encapsulate all the JavaScript libraries with these one-lines little code, so you can call Smalltalk code all the way instead of perform, which is, by the way, it is also supported, but you don't have to. And you use the friendly and powerful file-based Visual Studio Code IDE. I must say also personally I quite like it, but as said, it's a bit of a diversion from the Faro IDE if you're very used to that. And you have source level step debugging in all environments where needed. It's really integrated into the running browser and Node, which might be a little different feel than the other solutions. But enough bullet points now, how to use it. So this is a slide of the system in action, also showing off the debugger. well, this, of course, the outside window is Visual Studio Code. You probably recognize it with a file tree here on the left. And this actually shows the shop project. The shop project is a client and a server. And it is actually now showing the client side of it in the debugger, but you can show both on different screens. Oh yeah, here you see the GUI test, the test folder, which has a special meaning. The tests here are derived from a special test class, so that if you are running your regression test, new test methods and new test classes are automatically picked up from this this folder. I hope if you can see my cursor. Let me see. Oh yeah. You have now the login app. It is the Smalltalk extension class, which is the class that is open. So this is the one ST file, which will be transpiled to one JavaScript file. Yeah, also using ECMAScript says 6 type imports. And in this JavaScript file, you can also import other JavaScript libraries if you want to expand on that functionality. Yeah. So you're now at the debugger. That is also like, I think, a very cool feature. You see the breakpoint here. It's broken on login API, and you can really inspect the variable like person. And you see here, it's a kind of a JavaScript representation of the object, but it's quite readable that here what the person contains here. And the advantage of doing it this way is that you can click through to JavaScript details, because in the end, if you're running in the web or in Node.js, you always run JavaScript. On the bottom right, here you see the compilation step that went before starting this application. So it successfully compiled 170 classes and 2,000 plus methods. This takes about 1 second. So it's not really a live environment like working directly from a Smalltalk image, but starting an application takes really 1 or 2 seconds. So it's not a bother. And going to the bottom left here, it is this client folder here that shows all the files for the shop client project. Everything in one place, kind of nice. And here you see a shared folder. I cannot unclick it now because this is just a screenshot, but I have it live on my computer. There are here classes shared between the client and the server part, which is very nice that you have to, for example, if you implement a person, you don't have to do it twice. And the second folder, Smalltalk, this actually contains the total Smalltalk image with all the base classes of Smalltalk that you would need, and in this case for the browser added too. And and on the server side, you use Express.js. Yeah, I think that is enough about this this image. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. And on the right side, you see the actual application running in your browser, which is live, broken in the debugger at this point, the login screen of the application app. And it uses session management also with the Express.js framework. This is a very common framework for JavaScript. Okay, then I think last slide. A bit of a summary. When would you want to use SmallJS? If you want to make complex, rich, interactive websites, which new JavaScript libraries are added frequently because that is very easy to do. Also, if you have a project you have already started in JavaScript or TypeScript and you want to gradually incorporate Smalltalk, that is very easy to do. And you can leverage also your JavaScript knowledge, because for these libraries, I tend to use the JavaScript standard and not the Smalltalk standard. So it edges a bit away to JavaScript instead of to Smalltalk. Well, as said, you can use the Visual Studio Code IDE, which, I quite like. But again, it's different from the integrated Faro environment. Being file-based also gives the advantage of using just standard source code controls tools, anything you want. You can use the built-in one with Visual Studio Code. and seeing differences with what you did is easy. Also, deployment is easy. You compile to JavaScript files, so everything you do when deploying a JavaScript browser or node project, you also do for this. The deployments are also very minimal, and the base class is like 180 kilobytes, and it is not even stripped, not even minimized. It is full verbose JavaScript, and you don't have to do any image stripping that you will need to do when you're working from a full Smalltalk image. And oh yeah, little new feature, you can recently create AI apps with it. I added 5 AI common providers and also Olama, the open source one that you can run models yourself. It is just like a fun library project, which I did, which also has a an example. So, and this is my part of the presentation. Give it back to Nuri.